One thing that I love to do with scraps is to make these wristlets, or some people call them key fobs. They're really easy to do and they take very little fabric. So the materials you'll need are some fabric, some stabilizer, these hardware clips, and a clamp. These clips have teeth in them, so this is what you're going to use on the edge once you create the wristlet, and this clamp is what's going to close those teeth when you pull down or push down on those handles. So let's get started. We're going to take a 4x12 or 4x11 inch of scrap fabric, and the stabilizer is fusible on one side, and you're going to make sure the glue side is facing the fabric. And then we're going to press. For the most part, if you iron, sometimes the glue won't stick as well as you want it to. And I'm going to make quite a few at the same time, so I'm prepping all of them. Once I have that, I'm going to fold these in half lengthwise, and I'll do a little press just to give the fabric some remembering of that middle line. So I have 3 of them, and I will go ahead and do it. I'm just going to put the clamp on top of it while it cools down. Yeah, I know that I have something else for that, but hey. Then I'm going to fold them again in half towards the center, so all the raw edges are in the center. And then I take it to the machine, and all I'm going to use is 1/8 of an inch stitch down both sides. I'll start with the open end first and then turn it around and do the folded end. Once both of those are done, you can see the 1/8 of an inch. Then I will fold this in half and I will sew those 2 raw edges together. And that's just to secure them. And, it adds a little bit extra security when I add that clamp. Once that is done, I can clip all those little stray threads, and then I test it with my hand just to make sure that it is tight. This one I'm going to do 1/8 inch on both sides, but then I'm going to come and do another 1/8 inch right next to those seams. And this is choice in terms of what you want for how you want that finished product to look. And you'll see there's double stitch lines on both sides. I really think that's cool. I will close this up and then again stitch those raw edges together and then move to the next part. So the last one that I'm going to do after I clip this, just as a third way, and again, it's all personal preference for what you want it to look like, I'm going to use 1/8 inch on both sides and then go down the middle and do a 3rd stitch. And again, it just depends on what you want. Here's the way this 3rd one will look. And then I will secure those ends again as usual. Once all 3 of them are finished, because I find it's easier that if I'm making these, I make them in bulk all at the same time, and time seems to go by faster rather than making them one by one. Now it's time to add the hardware. Using the clamp and those pieces of hardware that you can pick up off of Amazon, you are going to take all 3 of these and we're going to add the hardware to them. I will clip any stray threads to make sure that nothing is hanging off of the edges because I do want this to be as clean as possible. I will place the hardware inside of the clamp, making sure that the little key ring is off to the side, and get that nice and secure, and then push down that fabric right into it. And it's just a little closer review, making sure that it is lined up and it's nice and even, and then clamp. Give it a couple of good presses in the center and on the edges, and then tug to make sure it's nice and secure. And there we go. So here are all 3. They are finally finished. Simple, easy, scrappy projects that you can make.